Welcome to Local SEO in 10. This is your go-to podcast for answers about how you can grow your local business online easily and quickly. Brought to you by local SEO experts Magnified Media in Walnut Creek, California. In each 10-minute episode, our digital marketing expert Adam Duran answers your questions on how you can get more leads for your business fast. Remember, if you're not taking care of this part of your business right now, you can bet your competitors are. And now, here's our host with the questions, Jamie Duran, and our expert with the answers, Adam Duran.
Oh, yeah. All right. So excited for today's podcast.
Oh, boy.
That's going to be my new thing. It's Macho Man.
Oh, God. I think he is the only one who's allowed to do that.
Oh, all right. Maybe I'll move it over to the Hulkster. Anyway, Kamala Harris died.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
I know. Well, not that breaking. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Welcome.
Yep.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to everybody. Another edition of Local SEO in 10.
That's right. Coming at you.
Coming out. All right. So today's super exciting topic is...
How can I get business for free with Facebook? Now, I know what you're saying is that you can get business with Facebook by paying, but you're like, wow, I've heard of this holy grail of free money, free on Facebook. I wanted to explain a great strategy that you can use to get actual business and projects coming in through Facebook. But of course, instead of paying money, you're going to have to put in some time and effort. Okay?
All right.
So if you don't know, Facebook is a social networking platform.
What?
Okay. Well, so if you don't use Facebook, probably you should skip to the next podcast because I'm not going to go into what Facebook is other than that. So Jamie and I are going to assume that you know what Facebook is, that you use it sometimes, that you understand how to use it, and that you have more than 3 friends. Okay. So what I'm talking about here, one of the cool things about Facebook is there are local groups. So wherever you're located, I guarantee there is at least 1, maybe 2, maybe 5 local groups that are very active in your community. And those groups are full of people always asking questions.
Or complaining.
Complaining, but usually those are like the rants and rave groups. So you can stay away from those, but they are asking for recommendations. They seem never to know what the search function in Facebook is. So it's the same questions over and over and over. So you should be joining those groups as a business owner. Now, of course, if you're a restaurant or a caterer, this is a good place for you. If you're a general contractor, this is a great place for you. Any kind of home services, insurance.
Yeah.
What's that?
Handyman,
insurance. These are all places. These kind of groups can be really, really big money makers for you. So, how do you find them? You can just go to the Facebook search bar and type in the word groups. Facebook will the next page that opens up, they'll have a link at the top of the page. It'll say discover groups on Facebook. So click that button. What Facebook is going to do is show you the active groups in your community. They'll do a lot of different stuff, but one of the ones is in your community or near me. So you want to take a look at those groups that are near you, see how many members. That's really important. So if it only has 10 members, not worth it. But I know in where I live, we have groups with 5, 6, 7,000 people.
25,000. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, these are active groups. And so you want to also make sure that you can see the posts, the activity listing there. Really important. You want to have a group that doesn't post once a month. You want an active group that at least has 10 or 20 posts per day, because those are all active questions and you could be providing the answer. Now, that's step 1, right? So you're going to join those groups. Next, you're going to talk to some other business owners who are in those same kind of professions that I talked about earlier, the home services. Now, you obviously have to screen them. They have to be able to use Facebook. They have to actually use Facebook. They actually have to know what Facebook is. So those are the first 3 questions that you can ask them. All right. Then you can get them to buy into this. So you can create a little cabal. If you have a business,
what's a cabal?
A group, a little secret group, you can do it with your own employees too. You can totally do it with your own employees, but I like the cabal, that kind of little secret group that you can make of other friends, 10, 15 friends on Facebook that are other business owners in those areas. Okay. So then you have Facebook has a messenger part that you can make a message group. And then when you see a post that you can recommend one of your other cabal members in, you do that. So you recommend, hey, Jamie has, you can ask the person, hey, how can I recommend you? Get them to write it out. Then you copy and paste that over. When somebody says, hey, I need I need somebody to install my ceiling fan. Then, hey, my friend Debbie, she's an awesome handy person and she can do the job, blah, 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 blah. Next, you have to have a protocol. So once you recommend Debbie can't just not do anything. She has to respond. So first, you recommend Debbie. Then you notify Debbie. Hey, Debbie, just recommended you on this group. Take a screenshot of that. Send it into that group message. Debbie sees that. Woohoo! Debbie goes to that post. Thanks you. Hey, thanks, Jamie, for recommending me on that for this job. This is totally right up our alley. We do these all the time. Then, what's the next thing Debbie does? What do you think, Jamie?
She private messages the person who posted.
Oh, yeah. As the Macho Man would say, that's right.
That was terrible.
The message remains the same. Okay. So you want to have Debbie's going to private message that person and say, hey, this is my company. Here's my Yelp page, whatever. We'd love to set up a time to meet you. The last thing Debbie's going to do is she's going to respond to that post right underneath where she thanked Jamie. She's going to say, hey, original poster, I just sent you a private message. Make sure to respond, okay? Or you make sure to check your messages. A lot of times, people on their Facebook settings, they have them set so messages from people that they don't know don't show up. So they actually have to go and search for a message request. And once they do, they'll see that message. So just when you respond and say, hey, I sent you a private message, that kind of puts social pressure on that person for responding and just for checking that message. So that really, really, really does lead. I've seen it lead to, just in the past 6 months, more than, $400,000 in sales. Nice. I mean, these are these cabals that I've helped create. They work really well. And when you all support each other, you don't overwhelm that original poster, but you do kind of sprinkle in, yeah, Debbie's awesome. And then you wait another, somebody else will recommend somebody else. And then, no, Debbie, you don't say no. You say, Debbie's really, really good. She did this ceiling fan. Here's a photo. So you make sure that Debbie, her reputation is awesome. And that also hits to people who are just seeing that post. So that helps. I've seen jobs go where it's not just the original poster contacts that person, but several people. All from that one post. It really works.
So 2 things.
Yes.
Does this affect the SEO at all?
No. But it does help you get business, and not really. It does. If you put their website address on that post and somebody clicks over, sure, that does. That's a social signal. But I'm all about business here too, and this is a local tactic that it's done all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's if it makes money, then hey, that's okay. If it serves people, hey, that's what we're all about, serving. And then having business owners be able to serve the needs of the community. That's what we want.
I've also seen the opposite as well, where people will say, hey, who do you know to install ceiling fans? They say, whoever you do not use George.
Debbie's ex-husband, George. Yeah, he's off the list.
Yeah. Well, and then, I can't imagine when somebody posting that about my company, but I've seen it many, many times, and it's really sad. If
that happens to you, you want to, kind of, it's always nice to have a cabal a group that can come to your defense, and then you show up and say, hey, what's the problem? I can totally, you can kind of address that. And if you have a cabal always working for your, to protect your reputation on these social groups, because like I said, they can have anywhere from 2,000 to 25,000 people can be seeing that. Yeah, it can really hurt your business too. So why not, if you're part of those groups, make something like this and start seeing if it works for you. And then I know it works for us. So
nice.
Yeah.
It's too bad it doesn't help SEO. Maybe Google will one day.
And my company doesn't make any anyway. Well,
I know it sounds like it's really just for home services, something to do with, because it tends, what I've seen with Facebook in those groups is that it just tends to be people who do not work.
It's a lot of moms. So,
okay.
If you're looking for if you have a tutoring company, an after school class or something like that, any of those services, insurance can be big. I've seen insurance. One of our friends, he owns an insurance agency, and he's gotten thousands and thousands of dollars off of these groups, from these groups, being recommended on these groups. And then people see those recommendations, they give them a call. Boom.
Nice.
That's easy.
All right.
One last thing I want to say is, if you're going to be on these groups, be respectful. Respond with insightful comments. Don't just go, no, duh, dummy, or something like that. Don't be disrespectful or complain about other companies. Don't be political.
I find this insulting to our listeners, Adam.
Well, if this is not you, feel free to skip to the next episode.
All right.
If this is you and you're on Facebook, one last thing I also want you to do is sanitize your personal profile. Make sure that you're not putting a whole bunch of political stuff up there, because people can, once you're tagged in that, if you're a member of that group, they can click right over and see, if you don't make your post private or secret or anything, then you don't want to offend anybody, and you definitely don't want to antagonize anybody. So
it never ceases to amaze me when I see a super, say white supremacists recommending a tow truck company or something like that. Hey, all right. I need those kind of endorsements, but
no, thank you. All right. That's all I got for today.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. All right. So this week, make sure to, if you know someone who's on Facebook and they're a business owner, this podcast is perfect for them, because they could really help a ton of, in this one, givers gain for sure, because you give out a lot more recommendations than you get back. So make sure you are recommending businesses, especially the ones that, even maybe you don't know them, but you really support that business. In this COVID time, when small businesses are just getting, leaving by the hundreds every day, every small business could use a recommendation.
Definitely.
Make sure to share and review this podcast. Give us 5 stars, and we will talk to you next week with something even more exciting.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of Local SEO in 10 with Google local marketing expert Adam Duran. Join us each week for answers to your questions on how to best harness the power of the internet to grow your business. Speaking of questions, got some? Message us through our Facebook page, Local SEO in 10, and we'll be sure to give you your answer on an upcoming episode. This episode of Local SEO in 10 is brought to you by Magnified Media, the leading online marketing agency in Northern California, who invite you to grow your business by magnifying your online visibility and credibility. Visit them on the web at www.magnifiedmedia.com. Magnify your business, magnify your profits.